Well, everyone is looking for connections, people who understand what you might be going through or dealing with. Club Wid in Seattle is a meetup group for young widows, and it's not a dating service or a grief support group, but instead it's a way to connect with others trying to rebuild their lives after loss. Annie Kuo and Matt Becker join me. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So first off, we want to say that you all are married now to each other, which is amazing. And you met in the group, right? Tell me about that, Matt.
That's right. I was there the first event that Annie helped put together. She had put out some advertisements to some local support groups, one of which I was a part of. It was a fundraiser for Movember as part of her work with the UW Men's Health Council. And we became pen pals after that. We helped plan some of the subsequent events because we thought it might just be a one-off, and everyone had such a great time. And 3 months later, we went on our first date.
And the rest is history.
That's right.
Yeah, 3 years later, we're now married. There's actually a second couple who met and remarried through our group. So it's funny, we have that disclaimer, we're not a dating service, but people organically will meet with those who they have things in common with. And if you can continue living life with a companion, all the better.
Absolutely. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. And Annie, you started this club right in 2021. So tell me about what you were hoping for when you first scheduled this first meetup.
Yes, actually initially it was just a one-off, intended to be a one-off event to support Movember, which is a men's health awareness organization. I rented a suite at a local pub that had mini golf, and then I put out some flyers and a video invitation to places that serve young widowed people, just thinking that before Thanksgiving there would be others looking for a connection, to feel a little bit less alone during the holiday season. And it was really just thinking about other people like me that would be great to connect with, before that time of the year.
It's such a good idea. And there's an age limit, I understand too, right? So speak on this, born after 1965.
Yes, we decided that because of the similar shared experiences, not only through widowhood, but also in life, it's human nature to kind of gather with those who you have more in common with. And there's an ample amount of grief support in the Puget Sound for widowed people. But for the subset of Gen X and younger widowed folks, were less represented. And so we decided to focus on this group that might find others less like them out, in a room. You're probably the only widowed person of that demographic. So we decided to focus on those born after 1965 that might have the shared experiences of still raising children or building their careers. Matt could speak a little bit to his experience in other widowed spaces.
Yeah. After my late wife passed away, I was set up in a support group, and this is still end of the pandemic, so Zoom. And it was me and like 9 people that were 65 plus. And so we had some things in common and some things to talk about, but hearing about how it is with their grandkids or how their retirement has changed was a lot different than me trying to figure out how to juggle everything with young kids at home or get back into work and things like that. And that's why it just felt like a light went off when I met this group of people. Like, oh, these are people doing the same thing I am.
Right. So how specifically did this club help you, 4 years after your wife passed?
Yeah, so I think there's a few different pieces of it. One is, your social life is in flux, just like your emotional state of affairs after something like this, and you don't really know, which friends are moving in or out of your orbit. You've lost something in common with some of them. So I think from that perspective, this was just amazing to find a group of people that just from get-go had a lot in common in terms of their circumstances. Yeah.
I think what makes us unique too is that we do have supportive conversations, but we're participating in lively activities. We're doing life together in community. So that could be, this month we're doing axe throwing and indoor skydiving and a cooking class. But then while we're out there doing things, we are also in a space where we know the other people in the room understand. And so some of these conversations do come out.
Right.
But we are structured, different from a support group in that we're not sitting around in a circle talking about things. But we do provide a space where those things can come out.
And for those of us with kids too, I think it was really helpful just to see our kids find people like them and make new friendships there and not feel like they're different than everyone else, like they might be in their normal circles.
Right, they're not isolated.
Yeah.
And you both have touched on this, but again, it's not a grief support group. And so that is important for people to understand, right, to maybe not come right away into something like this. And if you can touch on that.
Yeah, there is no timeline for grief, but we know that that first year after a loss is not like the years that follow. And so we do hope that those who have just experienced a loss will have that first year to talk it out, seek therapy if that suits their needs, or just kind of gather themselves, because go through all the firsts.
Right.
But then once a year has passed, because those of us in the group are not licensed counselors, we're peer-led, we're peer-run, and we may not be equipped to deal with some of the more acute symptoms of grief, that they would then come to us after those 12 years, well, not 12 years, those first 12 months have passed.
Definitely.
Come to us and then continue to grieve, but also integrate the grief into their lives as we rebuild.
Thank you both for sharing your story and your success story with Meeting Each Other. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And obviously, what an incredible organization. You can find out more about Club Wid on their website.